So good afternoon, everyone. Hello, it's Dan Eaton here, lead trainer for commercial conversions at Progressive Property. And in another series of interviews, we have another star student with us this afternoon. So we're going to do a quick question and answer session with Sumi, who's got some really exciting things that she is up to with her business partners in the commercial conversion space. So Sumi, do you want to say hello, introduce yourself to the group?
Yeah, hi Dan. Hi everybody. My name is Sumedha, and everybody likes to call me Sumi because it's nice and easy to pronounce. So hi everyone.
Thanks, Sumi. Yeah, so we'll go with Sumi. I like that. Yeah, people call me Dan because it's easy to pronounce as well, so we're all right. So don't worry about that one. But so Sumi, let's talk about you then. So who are you? Where have you come from? What's your kind of background? Let's get a little bit more about Sumi. Where did you grow up? What sort of upbringing did you have? What was it like growing up being Sumi?
So so I grew up in India, did my education back in India as well. And 21 years ago, got married and then moved to London. So all my schooling, which is I completed in India. And so after marriage, when I moved to London, I finished management accounting here in London as well. And simultaneously, I was working as well. So I'm a management accountant, and I've been working for IT corporations for the last 20 years. So IT corporations like IBM, Dell, EMC. Mm-hmm. And I've worked on several large, small, medium-scale projects. I've worked at country level, regional level, and the global level. I've been involved with lots of transformation projects within the companies. And then also heavily, I have worked in the financial sector, financial side of their business. So I've been involved with the financial planning and sales and strategy planning. So I've enjoyed doing all that. So that's what I love. I love doing analysis. I love working on my spreadsheets. Anybody who knows me, they kind of know that I just love to do analysis. I love numbers. And the bigger the numbers, the better it is.
Excellent. I love that. So growing up, sort of more traditional education, then into management accountancy, then work your way up to working across the globe in some big IT firms. I love that. And you said that you really like the number side of things as well. So Sumi is our spreadsheet lady. Then was that what we're saying here? If anyone needs any spreadsheets, give Sumi a shout. Is that how it works?
Yeah, it does. Yes.
Yeah. Excellent. So you were doing fantastic things in management accountancy for these big corporations. Obviously a very successful corporate career, which do you still have? You're still in the corporate world, or have you decided to not do that anymore?
No, so I decided to say goodbye to my corporate career a year ago now. Okay. Just before the pandemic, actually. And because I was traveling quite a lot and having a young family and having the lifestyle I have led for last 8-9 years, I think my kids started to feel it. And that's when I decided, I think I need to be more, I need to get some time with my kids now as they are growing up. So I decided to leave my corporate career and then build my property career.
Oh, I see. Okay, so you left the corporate world, spend more time with the family. I can relate to that. It's exactly what I did. And now you're doing the property side of things sort of full time?
Yeah, so I have always been into property, to be honest, for last 20 years. I've passively kind of been investing. I have invested in property. I have also invested in people on their projects. So I have lent money, as investment. Mm-hmm. So I think between me and my husband, both having the financial background, so we've always been interested in property, and obviously we know that property can make you good money. But having said that, I think we never took property as a career or as a business. So since 2 years ago, when I kind of, 1.5 years ago, when I came across Progressive, started listening to some of the podcasts and things, even though we have done really well in terms of our property portfolio, and we've got a substantial, really comfortable portfolio, which is giving us good income that we can survive on. But I think now, having looked at certain things, we could have done it much, much better, and we could have achieved far greater results than what we have achieved.
I love that, Sumi. So you've been investing in property basically for 20 odd years, and now sort of last 18 months or so, you've looked back and gone, okay, that was okay, but had I have known then what I know now, it would be completely different. Is that what you just, is that a good summary of that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Do you know, it's not uncommon that at all. Something we talk to loads of people, as you know, as trainers at Progressive, talk to loads of people who have done things in the past and done really well out of it, but then realize that they could have or should have or possibly could have done something slightly different once they know they've got the education and the knowledge that they have now. So you mentioned that you came into Progressive Property about 18 months ago. Talk us through that. How did that happen?
So I came across this event called MSOPI, and so I was a little skeptical. I've always been, in terms of learn property gurus, property-based property that I've read. I mean, I love to read, and being a financial professional, you always kind of read about things. I just thought, let's just go. There's no harm in trying. So I just went there. I heard people talk, and it all seemed really nice. But then I was like, there were certain stories that were told, people making money off nothing. They had nothing, and yet they made their careers to be so successful through property. And that made me thinking, well, when somebody can do it without any money, I mean, what am I doing? Why am I wasting my time? What have I got to lose? Okay, fine. It is an investment of a few £1,000, but if I can make bigger money, why not invest it? I mean, you invest in your degrees. I've invested quite a lot in my degrees, having done, I did MBA, which costed me a lot of money. I did my bachelor's, which costed me a lot of money. So I decided, let's just go in for it. And since then, I have been kind of learning quite a lot, and it's been good.
Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? You've invested in yourself rather than the sort of education. There's a good saying actually there, isn't there, somewhere? I can't think who said it, but we'll have to look it up. But I think it might have been Jim Rohn actually, but or Zig Ziglar maybe. Invest it, and a formal education will get you a living, but a self-education will make you wealthy, or something along those lines. I might have to look that up and get it properly inserted into the comments. But yeah, it's so true, isn't it? It's so true. You don't know what you don't know, and then investing a couple of £1,000s in some training that you've now used, it's can make some big impacts. So. You went to that MSOPI, you heard all these different stories, you heard the speakers at Progressive talking about the different strategies and the way that things could work. What grabbed your attention? Why did you start thinking about doing commercial conversions? What was the thought process behind that?
I have done buy-to-lets. So I have a portfolio of buy-to-let and HMO in London, and then I'm currently growing it in West Midlands. Also, service accommodation part, like a couple of my buy-to-lets I have converted into SA. Mm-hmm. So I kind of know those strategies. I have done those strategies. I know they work, but I am somebody who likes to get involved. I'm a risk taker. I want to do something bigger and better. Mm-hmm. And in order to achieve what I wanted to achieve, I think commercial conversion was the way for me. I've always, that's the side of me, the creative side of me, which I've held back for a very long time. I think that needed to come out, and it excites me. I get satisfaction by seeing and visualizing something, and just having created something and say, this is what I have created. So I can so a small property takes a similar sort of effort as the big property, but the returns and the gains are much better. So I'd rather do something which is bigger and better than spend my energy on a smaller scale project. Not having said that, I mean, I'm still spending my time on smaller scale projects, but I want to, that's my goal, to go into full-time commercial conversion.
So to be a full-time property developer in commercial conversions, I love that.
Yeah.
I might be slightly biased, but I do think that's the best thing to do, of course, obviously. Yeah. Okay, so you've got those little strategies, and you've got this. It sounds like you've actually got a bit of passion, a bit of a desire there to do something, create something out of some of these bigger deals, which is really good to see. And I think in some ways, what we see in the community, those that are successful have some sort of passion for it as well, which is really, really, really key. So you decided then you were going to go and do commercial conversion. So you came and did the commercial conversion training with Progressive. When was that? Was that back in August last year? Something like that?
Yeah, October is when we did, yeah.
Excellent.
Actually, you could be right, August. I think August is when we did the master class, and then we moved on to a mastermind from October. Yeah.
That's right. Yep. Okay. Yeah, absolutely. So going back from August to now then, so sort of 6 months. So what have you been up to the last sort of 6 months then? What have you been doing?
So because I live in Southwest London, so I have been looking at projects closer to London. And as we all know, when you're closer to London, the prices are quite, the numbers are big. And you really, what we are finding is currently the properties on market are priced not according to their current value. People are expecting bigger money for whatever they are worth. So the number seems to be kind of not stacking for every deal you analyze. And the ones which do work, you find that there's a lot of competition there, and there is a tender process. So every deal that I have come across and I have been interested in, I've had to submit a tender. So I have learned how to do tendering. I have learned a lot of those things that I have never done before, but I have absolutely enjoyed doing. There was a time when in one day I did 3 tenders. So that was the highlight. It's like, hang on, we can do 3 tenders in one day, for 3 projects.
So that's amazing. So you're not only you're out there finding these properties, doing the analysis to find out which ones are viable projects or not, but then also being able to turn around a tender pack in 3 in a day. That's amazing. So you've had some success in terms of some of those tender packs. Am I right in thinking that? But you've had a look at some of the deals and gone, do you know what? There's more to this. There's more due diligence that needs to be done. Do you want to talk us through some of those deals?
Yeah, so I have submitted, I think, over 10, 12 tenders now, and then one of the tender was accepted, and we were really, it was me and my business partner. We were very happy that it got accepted, and then we did. So then comes you do your due diligence before you submit the tender pack in terms of your bill costs and everything, and then you start once you have it's been accepted, then you go into further due diligence. And then we started getting the QS, the town planners, and everyone involved in the deal. And we started analyzing the deal, whether it's because we bought the deal with the planning permission. What we found was there were lots of conditions that were there. And in order to discharge those conditions, there are a lot of money you'll be spending on. And also, because the project was very close to the London Underground station, and this project had a basement there, so which would involve a lot of piling and things. So what the town planners were telling us, or kind of warned us, that the price of the build can creep up. So you need to be careful with that. And because we were working at the moment, what you're finding in London, you cannot get any deal which is giving you more than 20% margin. So if your margin is just 20% and your cost can go up, you really need to be careful. So which is why, even though our heart, as you know, our heart was set on that deal, but we were the mind told us, no, you have to walk away, be careful. You can't just, because it's in your investors' money, your friends and family's money, your own money, which is involved in the deal, and you cannot let anybody down. So the wise thing was to step away from it.
That's so good to hear, Sammy, because we talk about these things, and I do a couple of these interviews with different students, and it's really easy to just talk about all the good things. It's easy to talk about the deals that have been done. It's easy to talk about the profits that have come in. It's easy to talk about the potential profits in some of these deals, but it's really good actually to just bring the other side to this as well, which is, look, do you know what? This isn't an easy thing to do. Okay, it's a simple process that you follow the process, and then the process works, you get results, but it's not easy to do. And ultimately, as you mentioned there, following the process gets you to a point, and if at that point the answer is, do you know what, logically this is a no, we need to step away from this is not right to do, then that's the thing that needs to be done, as opposed to the emotional side of it, which, as you mentioned there, emotionally invested in it, you want to make it work, but it has to maintain that it fits in the process. It has to maintain that it's either a deal or it's not a deal. And in this case, it wasn't a deal. Therefore, you stepped away from it, which is great to hear. And I'm sure people in the community will learn from that as well. Because, like we say, it's not easy. It's not hard, rather, but it's simple, but it's not easy. So cool. Okay, so that was one that you did the process on. You went through everything, and it wasn't something that worked out. What have you got coming up at the moment, and what else have you got going on?
So currently, there are a couple of things that we're looking at. I'm looking at a planning gain application as well. So it's a piece of land. In fact, it's a piece of land with some buildings on it, but you could maximize the gain on it. So there is no planning permission on it. So looking at that, and then also looking at a couple of big office space. So one of the office space is the 7,000 square feet. So looking at that, to convert maybe, depends whether we can fit in 14 or 15 apartments in there, and what kind of spec you want to get, because depending on the area, because each street and things, you have to take into account a lot of factors. So you don't want to outprice yourself by just putting high spec stuff where it's not required. So all those things we are kind of taking into account at the moment.
I love to hear you say that, because I bang on so much all the time about think about your end user, think about the value that they're going to get from this. So I'm really pleased to hear you say that. I'm hoping you didn't just say that because you're talking to me. I know you eating it into you. It's fine.
No, so, I'm a good listener and good student.
Good. That's absolutely. Yeah. And that's it. It is just a process, isn't it? You just, like I say, we just do as we're told, and off we move on. It certainly worked for me. So, Sumi, that one there then. So that's an office which could be sort of 14 or 15 apartments, something like that. What's the sort of GDVs that you're working to around there? Just give us some high level figures. What's the GDVs like? Build cost, profit? What, just so people in the audience can understand the type of the numbers that are involved in something like this.
So again, I haven't firmed up the numbers on that yet. So the potential GDV we are working is like 6.5 million. Mm-hmm. And so looking to purchase the building for about 1.5 million. And then we're working on the build cost. So there is quite a lot. I think this is the one deal where we could potentially be looking at margins coming as 30%.
Okay, nice. So what's that going to be? Maybe 1.8 million, something like that?
Yeah.
Okay, so to people out there who are thinking this, this commercial conversion nonsense doesn't work, you've got to be an established developer, you've got to have done it millions of times. You're looking at this deal here, which has potentially got, 1.8 million. What would you say to those types of people who are sat there on the fence thinking, can I really do this? Could this be me? Could I do something like that? What would you say to those type of people?
I think anybody can do it as long as you have what it takes. You need you need to have a passion. You need to have belief in yourself that you can achieve it. Secondly, you need to make sure you can do full due diligence on. So you need to be. I wouldn't call it that you need to be numbers person, because being a number person myself, that's it's an added advantage. But I think pretty much anybody can do it as long as you follow the process and you listen to what people are telling you. I think that's the key. Sometimes you because you get emotional and you overhear what the other person is telling, and that's where things start to go wrong.
Excellent. So you're doing that deal now then, hopefully that'll inspire others to get involved as well if they want to. What's the future hold for Sumi? Where are you going next? Where's Sumi in 5-10 years time?
I always dream big, to be honest, but realistically, I would like to do a few good big projects and get involved in the new build as well. So that's my one desire. I want to do a proper big new build scheme. Mm-hmm. and carry on doing commercial conversions, creating nice spaces which I could be proudly say, this is what I created. I can show to my friends and my family, this is what I did. This because I haven't mentioned this. I come from a background. My dad was a developer back in India himself. So when my kids go to India, when we are kind of driving around, and my dad would show them, this is what, this is my project. I had completed this and that. So my kids were like really proud. And they used to say to me, oh, Mom, look, Nanaji has done this or he has done that. So I want my grandkids to be able to say that as well at some point.
Oh, fantastic. Yeah, I love that. So there's more to this than just the passion as well, and there's more to the why. That's really good to hear, actually, Sumi. Yeah, so, your kids and your grandkids will to say around and say, my mum or my grandma built that or created that. Yeah, I like that. Love it. Okay, so we'll probably wrap up now, but Sumi, if people want to get in touch with you and wanted to reach out to you about commercial conversions, are you okay if they do that, if they drop you a message or something like that? Is that okay?
Oh, most welcome. Yeah, absolutely. If I can help anybody or any questions, any doubts, happy to help.
Oh, that's lovely. Thank you, Sumi. So if anyone's got any questions for Sumi about the deals she's doing or the things we've covered this morning, feel free to put those in the comment section below, and we'll answer them as and when we go through. But Sumi, it's been an absolute pleasure to talk to you this afternoon, and really inspiring to hear what you're up to. And I hope others do sort of reach out and follow you and make contact, because I've got a feeling we're going to be seeing a lot more of Sumi, and I've got Sumi Towers. I can see it happening already. It's not going to take long at all.
Thanks. Yeah, thanks, Steve.
Yeah, it's no worries at all. So thanks very much for joining us. And if you want to say goodbye to the community, feel free to.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks for listening to me. And I look forward to hearing from, if anybody has any question, anybody wants to get involved with me. I'm more than happy to take any questions, anything that you guys want to ask. Just, feel free to reach out to me.
Fantastic. Well, thanks very much, Sumi, and thanks very much everyone in the community, and we'll see you all soon. So we're going to wave.
Thanks, Dan. See you, Dan. Thanks. Bye-bye.